Hi. I have some books right here that I think could potentially be some 5-star reads, and I want to see if I'm right. I haven't had a 5-star read since, I want to say, The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden. I thought that that was one of her best written thrillers that she's made in a while. I just want a good 5-star feeling, but I don't want like a regular 5-star feeling. I want the way I used to be 5-star feeling. I think about that book at least once a week, and I read it 3 or 4 years ago, so for me to still think about it once a week. Books that I think particularly will give me that kind of 5-star feel, or a Binding 13 or a Calloway Sisters Kiss the Sky 5-star, you know. I have Blue Sisters that can give me that the way I used to be literary fiction type, and I have Long Shot, which could give me, I don't know, like, I just need something kind of found family-ish too. I feel like this is a good 5-star found family book that I could be getting into, you know, getting over a trauma, kind of like Binding 13 kind of touches on stuff like that. As far as I know, Long Shot follows August and Iris. August is a NBA basketball player and Iris is a NBA wife, I think. I don't know if she's like a wife or a girlfriend. That's all I know. I know that she's like with the golden boy. I'm gonna start with this one, I think. And after this, I feel like it's just gonna depend on what kind of mood I'm in. I also have some that aren't physical that I could read as well. I want to read Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. I feel like that could also be a 5-star read, but it's also kind of long, and I don't think it's a series, I think. But yeah, I have Say You Swear. I also have War D by Frida McFadden that I really want to read. I feel like it could be 5 stars, but it's also rated kind of low on Goodreads. I'm still gonna give it a chance though, you know, like I still want to like that book, so I'm still gonna give it a chance. But for now, we're gonna start with Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. I'm also currently almost done with The Christmas Tree Farm by Lori Gilmore. I know it's not gonna be a 5-star read. I know it's not gonna be a 5-star read, but I might just put me finishing this book in here just for the sake of I'm reading it right now, so I might as well. Okay, so I pretty much finished this last night. I say pretty much because I did not read the epilogue. Why is the epilogue so long? Like, this is the epilogue. There are 2 of them. I'm probably gonna read them in a second, but I'm just gonna talk about this now. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. Y'all don't even understand how bad I wanted this to be 5 stars, because usually this is my kind of book, but I think it's the timing of when I picked it up. Maybe. The beginning was so slow for me, and I know it's necessary for Iris' story, but I was not ready to read that yesterday. Actually, I wasn't ready to read that at all this week. Obviously, I knew what was in this book. I did not know it was that bad. People would compare this to It Ends With Us. It's really and truly the beginning. The beginning dragged. I feel like it dragged for a good, I want to say 20-30%. I wish we got a little bit more of August. August's point of view was only and solely focused on Iris. I did not read the epilogue yet. There are 2 epilogues. I think the first one is Iris's, and the bonus epilogue is August. So I'm gonna read that now, because why not? I have to finish it anyways. If you found It Ends With Us triggering, I absolutely do not recommend this book at all. This book is worse. If you thought that It Ends With Us was not realistic, read this book. I think that this one would be better for you. The way this man Caleb made Iris look absolutely insane, I feel like that was really well thought out. Kennedy made it so that Iris was trapped in her situation. She could not move while she was pregnant. She was on bed rest, so she had to stay in a bed, and she had no means of income. So that's where Caleb comes in. She didn't want to stay with Caleb, but she had to. So yeah, Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan, 4 out of 5 stars. I recommend, but if you're sensitive to that type of thing, don't read it. Unfortunately though, I do feel a slump coming on from that book, so I need a palate cleanser. I really wanted to read Blue Sisters, but obviously that's not gonna happen. This is not the kind of book that is a palate cleanser. If anything, this one will probably put me in a worse slump, so I'm not gonna read that one yet. Another one I have is Ace of Spades. I really want to read this in this video, but I don't think I'm ready for this one yet. I think I'm gonna pick this one up after my next read that I think will be 5 stars, hopefully. I think I am bouncing between 2 Frida books though. I have the first one in physical copy. It's The Locked Door. This one is one of her highest rated books, but the one that I think will be 5 stars for me is Ward D. But Ward D is also one of her lowest rated books, so I don't know. Do I go with the public opinion or do I go with what I feel in my heart and soul? There's also Never Lie, which is 4.09. I feel like Never Lie wouldn't be a bad option either. This one is also about a psychiatrist. Oh my god. Do I read it? Or do I read The Inmate? I don't want to read The Inmate. We're gonna read Never Lie, but first I'm gonna finish the epilogue of Long Shot. So, turning on my fireplace. I'm gonna turn on Anne with an E in the background. I just got to the part where Gilbert asked that lady on a date. What's her name? The blonde one. That's not Anne. That one. He just asked her on a date. Or for tea. He asked her for tea. I won't lie, the last half of that second prologue was beautiful. Hey, so I decided on reading Never Lie by Frida McFadden. I'm reading the ebook right now. I don't have the physical copy, but I am on chapter 7 of the book. I guess I should tell you guys a little bit about it, right? It's 2 point of views. It follows Trisha in the present day and Dr. Adrian Hale in the past. Trisha and her husband are house hunting. They're a newlywed couple. I think she said that they've been married for 6 months, but they are supposed to meet a real estate agent at this property that used to belong to Dr. Adrian Hale, who was a psychiatrist. She would see patients in her home. She wrote a book. She's a best-selling author, and she wrote books based on her patients' stories, which I didn't know was legal, but I guess, right? They get to this house and there's like a blizzard going on, and the husband is a dumb piece of shit. The things that he's saying, I don't know. Like, obviously there's always going to be a slow, not completely their character in thrillers, because there has to be that character that forces the main character to stay and keep putting themselves in danger. And also, Dr. Adrian Hale, from what I'm reading so far, is not the best person. She asks her patients for permission when she wants to record one of their sessions, and when they say no, she does it anyways. And she also just got rid of a patient that she really didn't like. Yeah, I'm gonna I'm gonna read some more of that right now. A quick update. I think I may have figured out one of the plot twists, but also, whenever I think I figured out a plot twist, it's really her leaving in those breadcrumbs on purpose so that you come to that conclusion on your own, and then she smacks you in the face and goes psych. So I don't know if this is actually the case, but we'll see.
Hi, it's Key Will Shorty, and I'm back with another video. This is not my camera. This is actually my girlfriend's camera. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I just want to be in the files.
Moments before I kill my boyfriend. Anyways, let's do an update. I finished Never Lie and I rated it 4 stars. I wanted to give it like 4.5, maybe 4.25 so bad, but that ending, it's Frida. Her endings are always really good, or like they just don't make, I don't want to spoil it. They're either good or they just don't make sense. And this was the time where it just did not make any sense. I feel like she was going for shock factor, and in her going for shock factor, she kind of threw out all sense of logic. I did read it overnight though. I read it overnight. It was like the last time I recorded about it, I finished it the next morning. I did give it 4 stars because it was well paced. It kept my attention the whole time. And that's all I can really say about it, really. So let's talk about the book I'm reading right now. I'm currently reading Ace of Spades. I don't want to DNF it. I do not want to DNF it, but Chimaka is really pissing me off. This book follows Chiamaka and Devon. I am currently, I believe, 24% done with the book. This is, let me tell you what it's about first. This book takes place in a school called Nivea's Academy. It's a private school. It's for elitist children. Chiamaka and Devon are the only two black people in their school. Chiamaka is the most popular girl in school. Everybody knows her. Everybody not loves her, but everybody respects her, you know? And Devon is he's quiet. Nobody really knows who he is. He likes to stay under the radar. He likes music. She wants to go to Yale and go into, I think she wants to be pre-med or pre-law. It's either pre-med or pre-law. I'm pretty sure it's pre-med. Chiamaka and Devon are both prefects. Chiamaka's the head prefect and Devon is one of the prefects. Usually it's a popularity contest, but Devon is confused because he doesn't know how he became a prefect. Text starts to go out from somebody named Aces. He or she is anonymous. They're basically spreading things around school to ruin Devon and Chiamaka's reputation. And I believe this just follows them trying to figure out who it is. I haven't gotten to the horror aspect of it, so it probably will start to pick up pace after the fact, after that. Literally every time I press record, it starts to get loud outside again. So I'm just gonna do it. I finished Ace of Spades. I actually finished it, I wanna say like a week ago at this point. I did not record myself reading this one at all. I felt like it took me forever to get through this book. I rated it 3.5 out of 4 stars. This book is not a horror book. I feel like I went into it thinking it was a horror book. That's how a lot of people advertise it, as a crossover between Gossip Girl and Get Out. And they hear Get Out and they hear, okay, so it's horror. This is what I be talking about. Anyways, this isn't horror. This isn't horror in the slightest. I would say that this is more mystery thriller. And thriller is honestly kind of pushing it. I would call this a mystery, if anything. I feel like this book is poorly paced, which is why I gave it 3.5 in the first place. I feel like it starts out very slow and very long. This book is longer than I think it needs to be. The plot line is still very interesting. I feel like where Chiamaka's point of view kind of dragged for me, it made up in Devon's. I feel like a lot of YA books start off this slow, whether it's a romance, mystery. The pacing and like the build-up was not worth it. Not for the climax particularly, but for the ending. Since the author did add an epilogue, I feel like the epilogue should have wrapped up the story a little bit better, in my opinion. The ending was quick with a slow build-up, and that's why I gave it a 3.5. I heard that the crash is not that great. I've been on TikTok, I've seen the things that have been being said. So I'm not gonna put it in this video because I no longer think it's gonna be a 5-star read. I also want to read The Fear by Natasha Preston, but I also don't think that's gonna be 5 stars because it's a YA. So I did read this before I started Ace of Spades, so I'm going to talk about it even though I didn't include it in this video because I knew it wasn't going to be a 5-star read. But it was still fun and cute and Christmassy. People don't really like this series, and I can see why. I think it's just the writing style and the way the characters act, because they kind of act like children in adult bodies. It was still fun. This book is a grumpy sunshine, heavy on the grump. Heavy on the grump. Like, it was one of those grumpy sunshines where it was like the grump had no reason to be as mean as she was. Like, if you're gonna be mean like that, like, have a reason, you know? And I didn't feel like she necessarily had one. This book follows Kira and Bennett. Kira just recently moved to this town and she bought the Christmas tree farm. She bought it as like a last attempt to rebel against her parents. She used all her savings because she's a trust fund kid, and she bought this Christmas tree farm, and she went from having no money, or she went from having a bunch of money to none at all because she bought this Christmas tree farm. Bennett is related to one of the previous main characters in the books before this one, but I didn't read those. I only read this one because this was the only one I was interested in. So Bennett is kind of a pushover. He sees Kira as like a woman in distress. Like, he needs to help her with everything that she does, and she does not want his help at all. I gave it 3 stars. Honestly, I could rate it lower, but I gave it 3 stars because of the really cute setting. Out of all of these books that I read, plus Neverlie, shocking, I cannot believe I'm going to say this, but I think I liked Neverlie the most. I think the thing with Longshot was I was not ready to read this book yet. I pushed myself into it because I felt like I was never going to get to it. It's been on my TBR for years, and I thought, why not just bite the bullet and do it today? And I did it, but I was not in the mood for this kind of book. But yeah, those were all of the books that I thought would be 5-star reads for me, and none of them were. Not a single one, which is kind of disappointing. I haven't had my first 5-star read of the year yet. Hopefully I find my next 5-star read in the next vid. Hopefully, maybe. Thanks for watching.